Have you ever pondered about the true essence of forgiveness? Let's delve into the compelling narrative of John 8, 1:11. Imagine, if you will, a day like any other in ancient Jerusalem. Jesus, the charismatic teacher from Nazareth, is in the temple courts sharing his wisdom with a crowd of eager listeners. The air is thick with anticipation. Every word he speaks is a pearl of wisdom, every sentence a revelation. The crowd hangs on to his every word, their hearts and minds filled with awe and reverence. Suddenly, the serene atmosphere is shattered. A group of Pharisees and teachers of the law march into the temple courts with purposeful strides. They are not alone. In their midst, they drag a woman, her face a mask of fear and shame. The woman has been caught in the act of adultery, a grave sin according to the law of Moses. The tension in the room is palpable, the silence deafening. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law pose a question to Jesus, their voices echoing in the silence. In the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. Now what do you say? This question is not merely a question, it is a test, a trap. They seek to corner Jesus, to discredit his teachings, to prove him wrong. The crowd waits with bated breath. The woman, her eyes brimming with tears, awaits her fate. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law, their faces set in stern lines, await Jesus' answer. The question hangs in the air, a challenge to Jesus' wisdom, his understanding of the law, and his compassion. So this was the challenge that Jesus faced, a test of his wisdom, a test of his understanding of the law, and a test of his compassion. This is where we begin our journey into the heart of one of the most profound narratives in the Bible, a tale that questions our understanding of morality, of justice, and of compassion, a tale that teaches us about the true essence of forgiveness. So let's delve deeper into this narrative and uncover the layers of wisdom hidden within it. In the face of this moral dilemma, what was Jesus' response? An intriguing question indeed. Rather than being quick to reply, Jesus did something unexpected. He stooped down and began to write on the ground. No one knows for sure what he wrote, but this act alone was a break from the norm, a silent protest against the clamor for immediate judgment. The accusers, however, were relentless. They continued to demand an answer, eager to trap Jesus in his words. But Jesus, ever the wise teacher, responded with a profound statement that would echo down the corridors of history. Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. Take a moment to let that sink in. Jesus, in his wisdom, didn't condone the woman's actions, yet he didn't condemn her either. Instead, he turned the spotlight onto the accusers, challenging them to examine their own lives. His words were a mirror, reflecting the sins and shortcomings of all present. It was a call for self-reflection, humility, and a reminder that no one is perfect, that everyone has fallen short in one way or another. This statement had a profound impact. It was as if a stone had been thrown into a still pond, sending ripples through the crowd. One by one, the accusers began to drop their stones, the weight of their own sins bearing down on them. The oldest left first, perhaps having a longer list of transgressions to reflect on, followed by the younger ones. Eventually, Jesus and the woman were left alone. In a world eager for judgment, Jesus offered a different perspective, a perspective that challenged the very foundations of their beliefs. He reminded us all that before we rush to condemn others, we should first look at ourselves. We all live in glass houses, and throwing stones can shatter our own illusions of righteousness. This encounter, this unexpected response, serves as a timeless reminder of the need for empathy, humility, and understanding in a world too often ready to cast the first stone. But what happened to the woman? What was her fate in this story? As the dust settled, the woman found herself alone with Jesus. The once vocal accusers who were ready to stone her to death had all departed one by one, their self-righteousness and thirst for justice silenced by their own guilt. The crowd that had gathered, eager for a spectacle, had dissipated, leaving only the woman standing there, vulnerable and exposed. Jesus, the only one without sin among them, the only one who could justly cast the first stone, turned to the woman. His gaze was not one of condemnation, but of compassion. He asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" The woman, perhaps surprised by the lack of judgment in his eyes, replied, "No one, sir." Then, in a statement that would forever change her life, Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." With these words, Jesus showed her, and indeed all of us, the power of forgiveness. He offered her a second chance, an opportunity to start anew, free from the shackles of her past mistakes. This moment was more than just an act of mercy, it was a demonstration of divine love and grace. It was a powerful lesson about forgiveness and redemption, about the transformative power of God's love. Jesus did not dismiss her sin, he acknowledged it, but he did not let it define her. Instead, he offered her forgiveness and a way out of her life of sin. This is the power of forgiveness. It does not ignore or minimize the wrong, but it does not condemn the wrongdoer to a life defined by their mistakes either. It acknowledges the pain and the guilt, but it also offers hope and a chance for redemption. It says, yes, you have done wrong, but that does not define you. You can change. You can be better. In the face of guilt and condemnation, Jesus offered forgiveness and a chance to start anew. So, what does this story teach us? What message was Jesus trying to convey? This narrative, found in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 1 through 11, is rich with lessons and insights. In the face of a moral challenge, Jesus responded not with condemnation, but with wisdom and surprising empathy. A woman caught in the act of adultery was brought before him, with her accusers expecting Jesus to affirm the punishment prescribed by the law. But he did not. Instead, he challenged the mob, saying, "He who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her." This unexpected response disrupted the crowd's self-righteous judgment, and one by one they left the scene, leaving Jesus alone with the woman. In this moment, Jesus demonstrated the profound power of forgiveness. He did not condone the woman's actions, yet he did not condemn her either. "Neither do I condemn you," he told her. "Go and sin no more." Through this story, Jesus highlighted several key themes: mercy, forgiveness, and the challenge to self-righteous judgment. He taught that before we rush to judge others, we must first examine our own imperfections. We are all fallible, capable of making mistakes, and in need of forgiveness. Jesus' message also emphasized the importance of mercy. Even when the law was on the side of the accusers, Jesus chose mercy over condemnation. He showed us that compassion and understanding should always take precedence over judgment and punishment. Finally, Jesus' response to the woman caught in adultery teaches us about the transformative power of forgiveness. By telling the woman to go and sin no more, he gave her a chance at redemption, a chance to change her ways and start anew. This highlights the belief that people can change and that forgiveness can be a catalyst for that change. This is the wisdom Jesus imparted to us through this story, a wisdom of understanding, compassion, and forgiveness. As we conclude, let's reflect on the profound impact of this story on our lives. The narrative of John 8:1-11 isn't just a tale from the past, it's a living testament to the enduring power of compassion, forgiveness, and the unyielding love of Jesus Christ. In our everyday lives, we encounter situations where we may be quick to judge, quick to cast the first stone, just like the Pharisees in the story. But what if we choose a different path? Consider for a moment the power of forgiveness and the liberation it brings. The woman caught in adultery was undoubtedly at fault, yet Jesus chose forgiveness over condemnation. In doing so, he didn't condone her actions, but rather empowered her to change, to sin no more. This is a potent lesson for all of us. When we choose forgiveness, we're not just absolving others, we're also setting ourselves free from the burden of resentment and anger. Likewise, consider the importance of compassion. Jesus could have chosen to side with the law, but he instead chose compassion. He saw the woman not just as a sinner, but as a human being deserving of love and understanding. This is a lesson we should all strive to apply in our lives. Instead of hastily judging others, let's strive to understand them, to empathize with their struggles, and to extend our compassion. The story from John 8:1-11 is a mirror held up to our own attitudes and actions. It challenges us to reflect on our own capacity for forgiveness and compassion. It invites us to become better versions of ourselves, to live as Jesus did, with love, understanding, and a heart that's ready to forgive. If this video has helped you understand Jesus' message a bit more, do hit the like button and subscribe to become a part of our family. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep understanding, and keep growing in faith.